What's up, everyone? So it's actually almost September, which means you're going to be getting interviews soon. And when you get interviews, one of the things that's the most important thing was this thing called IntheArea emails. So I figured I'd share my template for IntheArea emails with you and go over what exactly they are. Let's do it. What's up, everyone? So before we even start, let me go over what are IntheArea emails. So when I was applying to medical school, especially during this time, early September, I started hearing about IntheArea emails. And I was like, what exactly are these things? How is this going to work? Basically, IntheArea emails are emails that you send to schools at the point when you get interviews to schools that are nearby. So let me explain this to you just geographically. Let's say you got an interview at UCLA Medical School. Then you would send an IntheArea email to UC Irvine because Irvine is pretty close to LA, and you would basically say, hey, I got an interview at UCLA. I'm going to be in the area of LA. If there was any possibility of me getting an interview here at Irvine, it would be awesome if I could get it near this day, so it would save me a brand new trip to LA because you'd save a lot more money that way. The whole point is you send emails to schools near to the schools that you're interviewing at, in the hopes that if they were going to give you an interview already, they'll kind of schedule you a bit earlier so you can save money in terms of traveling. Okay. However, different schools have different policies on this. Some schools are actually really stingy about don't bother sending us any of these emails. We hate reading them. Some schools are totally receptive. Some schools are okay having you send those emails. Almost all the schools, though, will definitely tell you that that email has no bearing on your application status. They won't review your application earlier. It's just that in the sense that if you were already going to get an interview, this would facilitate and move the interview maybe a bit more up or backwards, just in the sense of scheduling things, okay? This usually, as I said, has no impact on your interview, and it's for people who would have probably gotten an interview anyway, but the whole point is it saves you money. And so at this point, I wanted to just share the template of the IntheArea email that I sent to give you all an idea of the way I structured it. I by no means think this is even that well written. I just think that, I did hear back from admissions committees who said, okay, cool, we got your update, great. So I figured it probably was a decently written email. So let's just get to it. Here's my sample email. So it says, Dear admissions team. You probably want to modify this for whatever school you're sending it to. So, Dear Yale School of Medicine admissions team, my name is Prerak Juthani. My AMCAS ID is this. Always, always, always include your AMCAS ID in any email you sent out for med school. It just will make your life easier, and it makes their life easier. And I'm a prospective applicant to the blank whatever school you're applying to, Yale School of Medicine. You can also include a statement here about your interest in the school if you want. You can say, it's really a school I'm truly interested in if you're interested in it. And then moving next, the next paragraph I said is, with that being said, I actually have scheduled an interview at a school close to whatever school you're emailing around the date of, and then you would include the date. And then I also usually said, like, as a California resident, flights to, your school are about whatever amount of money round trip. And it is something that would challenge the current financial circumstances I am in. For that reason, I would like to try and optimize my traveling. So, in the case that I am offered an interview at this school, I was wondering if I could schedule it around this date. By no means am I using this email as a way to advocate my candidacy as an interview applicant. Rather, I am asking if, under the assumption I am giving an interview, I can schedule that interview near this date. If you have yet to review my application, I completely understand, and there's no need to even entertain my candidacy as an interviewee right now. I just figured it would be a good idea to send you this message if an arrangement was possible, simply because it would assist my financial situation. Thank you for taking the time to read this message. I look forward to hearing from you. And again, this whole email is a very sample email. I modified it a bit as I move forward, but the whole point of this was kind of telling people, hey, I'm going to be a prospective applicant to, let's say, Yale School of Medicine. I'm going to be interviewing at UConn, and I happen to get an interview at UConn on September 12th. And so as a California resident, flights to Connecticut are almost $500 round trip. And so, if I was going to come to Connecticut, it would be awesome to knock out two schools. So you'd save almost $500 that way. And so in this case, you'll see that I kind of mentioned that third paragraph. I would like to try to optimize my traveling. So in the case that I am offered an interview to Yale, I was wondering if it could be scheduled around this date. And then I think this paragraph is really important to really make sure that you're communicating to the admissions committee that you understand what's going on. You understand that if they haven't reviewed your application, you're not asking them to review it earlier. You also are not using this as a way to advocate your candidacy. You're just using this as a way to update them in the case that they have already reviewed your application and maybe you were going to be offered an interview anyway. I always include this last little thing. I think it's always important to thank people for taking the time to read your message. To do that, they send in the area emails to schools that you are interviewing near. But before you do it, just make sure it's okay. Check forums, make sure people are doing that, and if they're receptive to it. And if you don't know if they're receptive to it, one of the easiest ways is to just email the admissions committee or whatever representative they have, and just say, "Hey, do you guys accept in the area emails or not?" And it's totally fine. I feel like it's not a tough thing. Most admission committee members know, and even the secretaries usually know what in the area emails are, so it's going to be in your benefit to at least just double check. Because if anything, like for me, for example, I interviewed at the East Coast like 6 or 7 times. If I could have condensed those into like 2 trips, I would have saved at least $1,000, which is a lot of money, if not more than $1,000. So, all right, those are my 2 cents for you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.